post-competition or life after dieting can be just as difficult, if not more difficult, than the actual contest preparation itself. So in today's video, I'm going to answer some common questions in regards to post-competition struggles and also give you guys some strategies on what you can do to help you walk out of this post-competition phase successfully. So the competition season has officially wrapped up for Season B 2019. And if you have been following along, myself and many of our athletes have recently competed in various competitions. And I just want to firstly congratulate every single one of them because everyone smashed it and we got some fantastic results, and we cannot be more proud of what everyone has achieved. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that post-competition phase can be just as difficult, if not more difficult, than the actual contest preparation itself. And it's something that not many people tend to talk about, and it's definitely something that a lot of competitors struggle with. And there are two aspects to that. So first of all, you have your physiological side, and also you have your psychological side. It's not uncommon to see people put on 5, 6, 7, or even 10 kilos post-comp through the binge eating behaviors and things like that. And then they will struggle with a little bit of a body image issue, feeling depressed because they don't have the next goal to work towards to, and also because the week before they're looking amazing on stage, now they're looking at themselves in the mirror, it's like, whoa, what do I do now? And that's a lot of times, and people struggle through that, and obviously that's not the healthiest thing to do to your body, mentally and physically as well. Now, before we dive into the questions and also the strategies that you can implement towards post-competition phase, let's take a step back and just look at the competition preparation itself, and look at the physiological side, the psychological side, and how these all come together, because they are all correlates to one another, and they all impact one another as well. So the bottom line is your body doesn't really care that you're trying to step on stage, cover in spray tan, and try to win a trophy. When you have a stage-ready physique, I think we can all agree that it's when you have a low body fat percentage, it's not the healthiest state to be in, and that will pretty much explain all the physiological and also the psychological struggles that people go through towards the end of the competition preparation. That's why you feel hungry, that's why you feel stressed, that's why you may feel a little bit more moody and you have low energy, because all these things are essentially our body signaling us to stop this, I guess, starvation, or stop the dieting, stop the training, and put some body fat back on, because body fat is, at the end of the day, spare energy available to us. So that's why you go through all these physiological and psychological struggles towards the end of the competition prep, because our body doesn't know that we're trying to get on stage, because our body isn't running in the most optimal state. So our body is signaling us to either eat some food or reduce your activity, so that way we can increase the spare energy stored, which is again body fat, so that way we can get to the normal state or where our body wants us to be. So now, knowing that after the competition you are still in the same physical and psychological state, but the problem is now you don't have a deadline. You have a goal there to stop you from overeating, stopping training, sleeping more, and not moving and things like that. And that's also why people tend to binge after the competition and eat too much food than necessary and feel sick. And that's one of the common things, because as I said, your hormones and everything has been disrupted, and also the psychological side as well. So it's very easy to go overboard and stop yourself from eating too much. And this is exactly what a lot of people struggle with. And hence why we're opening up this conversation to talk about the post-competition struggles and give you some strategies that you can implement, so hopefully you can have a successful post-competition phase. So now let's get into some questions regarding post-competition phase. So the first question is, how do you calculate maintenance post-competition? Well, this one's quite simple. I will simply use any maintenance calculators, just like you would to calculate your maintenance calories at the beginning of the dieting phase, just based on your current stats. So obviously you have low body fat level, lower body weight most likely, and different activity level as well. Plug it in, get a number, and then start there. At the end of the day, maintenance calories is just an estimate. So as long as you can get a rough number based on your current stats, and that's usually a pretty good place to start. Now, some people's actual maintenance calories might be slightly lower than what is expected, especially through the extreme level of dieting. And that's very, very common as well. But usually once you start increasing your calorie intake over time, and once you put on some body fat level for the health reasons, that number should slowly catch up. So that's what we commonly refer to as adaptive thermogenesis, something that we've spoken about many, many times. So you can check out our Instagram or Facebook, our posts and other videos. I'm pretty sure we'll be touched on that. Now, the second question is binge eating. Now, this is a huge topic, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I would say this is probably one of the most difficult challenges that competitors go through, is the post-competition binge. Like I mentioned earlier, before the Q&A, that because you've got your body down to this suboptimum state where you have an extremely low level of spare energy available, aka body fat, and your body has been going through lots of physiological and psychological changes in order to essentially keep you alive. So it's sending you all these signals, like I said, making you feel hungry, making you feel tired, lethargic, so you don't feel like training, and you want to eat all the food. So after competition, when you don't have a goal to work towards to, there's nothing stopping you from eating all the foods, right? Now let's say normally you feel full after eating 2 slices of cake. But in this post-competition phase, in the physical state that you're in right now, you can probably eat 2 more slices, another 2 slices, another 2 slices, and keeps going on, and still don't feel full. So in managing this, it's a difficult one. I would say firstly, you come down to having a more optimal or healthy approach to your contest dieting. And I would say the most important thing is to get a good understanding of what binge eating is, the behavior and everything, and realize that you will experience all these physiological and psychological struggles to lead you into that binge eating behavior, and try to set up some strategies to stop yourself from getting there. Now, what I typically recommend is definitely don't restrict yourself too much and don't put too much pressure on yourself trying to stick to your pre-contest diet and things like that. Definitely try and go and enjoy a nice meal out with your friends and family. But what I would suggest is to have some backup plans. Have some foods that you had prior to the contest available to you that are high in volume and somewhat satiating, so that way the likelihood of you going over what you're supposed to eat is a lot less. Understand that food will always be there, so you don't have to eat everything all at once. Everything that you have been craving, you don't need to eat it all at once. Just pace yourself, maybe have a slice of cake here and there, have a cookie tomorrow, have a nice ribs or burgers out with friends the next day and things like that. Just pace yourself and try to stick to your usual food sources as much as you can, maybe more in volume. So just like contest dieting, if you can increase your food volume through plants, vegetables, fruits and things like that, just something that you actually enjoy eating, that's going to allow you to at least stay full, and the likelihood of you go and binge on a whole lot of food is a lot less. And the next thing is definitely to make sure you have a goal. So set a next goal to work towards. It could be like a training goal, performance goal, or even a long-term improvement season plan to help you get on stage for the next time. Because that's going to give you something to look forward to and work towards to, so you won't feel a bit lost after the comp. And the next thing is make sure you set up an environment at home that is going to allow you to walk out of this post-competition phase successfully. For example, don't be that person that buys all the chocolates in the world from the supermarket weeks before the comp. Don't buy all the ice cream, buy all the treats, because once you have those available to you at home, the likelihood of you going in and smash them all is very, very high. Next question is, what's the general rule for reverse dieting and how to break up protein, carbs, and fats? Now, in Flex Success, we don't just have a particular strategy. when it comes to post-competition. And much like any sort of nutrition and training related topics, it always depends on individual circumstances. So I would say implement a strategy, whether it's reverse dieting or recovery approach, bring your calories straight back up to maintenance, or even going above the surplus and things like that, or choose the strategies of how fast and how slow you want to walk out of this post-competition phase, depending on a specific individual's psychology. So some people might prefer a little bit more rigid approach, then perhaps a slow increase of calories over time will be optimal. Although personally, I would prefer, just for the health reasons, I prefer to put on a few kilos pretty quickly and bring you back up to maintenance straight away, or estimated maintenance of your current body composition straight away. So that way you can start making some improvements and also give you a little bit more calories and things like that to play with. But you just have to be okay with not being as shredded as you were last week. Now, for the general guidelines, you can pretty much just go in off your post-competition body composition and calculate your maintenance of that. And then when it comes to protein and fats, you can set it the exact same way as you would at the start of the contest prep. So based on your current body weight, lean body mass, active level, and all the rest of it. So protein and fats are set, then you can just add the rest of the calories in carbs. So you can go something pretty simple, straightforward. So anywhere from 2 to 3 grams per kilo body weight for your protein, and it can go anywhere from 0.8 to 1 gram per kilo body weight for your fats, and the rest of the calories go into your carbs. Now, I do recommend people to make sure they have at least 10 to 15 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories, because that's going to make you implement at least a small amount of vegetables and fruits every day, and some whole grains and seeds and nuts and things like that, just to cover your bases as far as micronutrients and fibers go. And the last question is what to expect. The most honest answer I can give is the fact that you will simply feel like you want to eat all the foods, but at the same time you want to look the way you did on stage. And you're going to be juggled between the two every day, or every few hours perhaps. That's why I think it's so important that us having this conversation and discussion regarding post-competition struggles, because like I said, not many people talk about it, and in regards to how you actually feel and what you can actually do. So I would say the strategies as far as to implement to help you walk out of this, it's going to vary from person to person. But for the most part, the general rule of thumb is put your health first, mentally and physically, and understand that food will always be available. So you don't have to eat everything all at once. Pace yourself. But I'll definitely recommend to bring some social aspect into your life. Go see some friends and family, and you don't have to be overly strict. As long as you don't binge and eat like a pig, then you'll be completely fine. Stay active and slowly taper down your active level or cardio if you were doing a lot towards the end of your prep, and just slowly transition out of that. And most importantly, understand that this is the transitional period, and it's something that everyone goes through, and you don't have to feel bad if you stuff up or didn't have the most perfect reverse or recovery diet, or because there isn't one. Just like dieting, you approach dieting, there isn't the perfect diet and there's no perfect training. It all comes down to what suits you in the circumstances. So now, post-competition, the most important thing is to bring your health back up, physically and mentally, and making sure that you set a new goal that you can start working towards to, whether it can be physical or even psychological, or you can even start shifting your focus towards something else, different aspects of your life, relationships, friendships, finding different hobbies and things like that you can focus on. Or if you have the aspiration to compete again, then it's even more important for you to make sure that you walk out of this period successfully, so that way you can start making some proper improvements towards the next competition. So I hope that this provides you some insights into what the post-competition struggles are like, and give you some strategies that perhaps you can think about and implement into your post-competition phase. And if you are currently going through the post-competition phase, or if you know of someone that's struggling with it, feel free to get in contact with us. We are more than happy to help. Hope you enjoyed the content for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platform if you want to keep up with us and all the cool stuff that we're doing. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in the next video.